In this video, we're going to be talking about smoking at work. Stay tuned. Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another episode here at Sobriety University. On this channel, we talk about addiction and recovery related topics. Name is Joel, and in this video, we're going to be talking about smoking at work. Big shout out to 33 Degrees who suggested this video. It's a cool one, and it made me think about when I used to smoke at work, so it was a nice trip down memory lane. And spoiler alert, I definitely smoked at work. And so before we begin, I ask that you hit the subscribe button. It really helps out the channel. It's been growing like crazy. It's been really cool to see, and it's been really cool to see how many people are trying to get sober in their lives, or who already have and are sharing their wisdom with others. It definitely makes me feel good knowing that there are other people out there that want to live a clean life. So thank you guys so much, and let's dive into the video. So, smoking at work. Now, this is funny because I started smoking at work. So this is a perfect topic, and I started smoking after senior year of high school. I had dabbled with it a little bit before then, like I'd smoked a couple years before, and I got caught. So ironically, I got sent to work because I got caught, and I was just like, I'm never touching this stuff again. I grew up Catholic, and so I had a lot of fear about like authority and getting in trouble and all that. And so after senior year though, I was like, I'm free. And I started working at Jimmy John's. It was the first job I had that was like chill, where you could like talk to people and have a good time, and obviously have a good time. And you didn't have to just stand there like a robot listening to authority all day. And so I was working with some buddies that I went to high school with, and I found out that they like to smoke weed. And at first I'm like, oh my God, like, you guys smoke weed? What the fuck? That's crazy. And as I continued to talk to these guys and get to know them a little bit, I'm like, these guys are pretty chill. I thought weed was this dangerous drug that would just ruin your life. And here they are having a good time, they're laughing. And so what did I start to do? I started to smoke weed. And what we would do is we'd go in the freezer, and we would have the guy would bring like a pipe, either a chillum or a bowl, and we would blow the smoke into the air vents, and it would get out of the building. Or we go outside and to the back, and we'd light up quick and run back in. A lot of cops drove by that back road that was behind the shop, so we had to be like on the lookout. But to be honest, from an outside view, it probably just looked like someone was smoking a cigarette. This was back in 2012, so weed was not as accepted as it is today, so there's definitely another level of paranoia. And I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I had a great time smoking at work. I think I liked it so much because I was brand new to smoking, so it was like a whole new experience. My ego was starting to dissipate a little bit. I was starting to see a new side of things. A lot of the guys I was hanging out with at work, I never thought that I would be friends with. Well, that's not true. One guy I was pretty close with, but the other guys, I had this whole mentality of people who use drugs and smoke are druggies or whatever, because I did sports and I was like the jock or whatever. I mean, I know, so cringy. And so I'm like, I kind of like these guys. They're super cool people. And it started to open my mind up about weed and stuff. And so yeah, I continued to smoke the whole summer. I ended up getting my own little kit. I got a bowl, and obviously to make sure there was no smell, I took the bowl, I took the weed and the grinder, and I put it in a pretty thick sunglass case, and I put that in a protein container. So it looked like whenever I left home, it looked like I was just, I got my protein, I'm going to the gym, because I was really big into working out. And so my parents had no idea. And yeah, we would just blaze bud all day at work and eat Jimmy John's sandwiches. It was pretty sick. Now that might be you might be thinking, okay, wow, dude, fuck, I kind of want to smoke weed and go work at Jimmy John's. Now, while it was pleasant at the beginning, as I started to continue smoking, and when I really got into the addiction, smoking at work was not fun anymore. It was more like a crutch, a necessity. The thought of having to go through a 6-hour shift without weed was like, oh my God, fucking kill me. Insane. I was like, I don't even want to live. And that's kind of where it became a problem. And I guess I invite you to think, if you like to smoke at work, if that is the mentality you kind of have, where it's almost impossible to even think about actually going to work and doing a shift without weed. That might be a sign that it has kind of started to lean into addiction territory. So now each job is different for sure. A lot of jobs will not tolerate it. A lot of jobs are more like, kind of corporate, where, you report to your boss and you just robotically go through the day. I like jobs that are super, way more chill. So what I was doing when I was in my real smoking days, I was working at a delivery job where I could just smoke in my car all day, drive around. And it's funny because I remember I would smoke and I would get out of the car and it would be maybe windy or something. And I thought the wind was just blowing all the weed smoke away and the smell. And I go in, I pick up the food or whatever. And I'm like, dude, no one can smell me. I'm totally incognito. And when I got sober and I started to smell people in the real world smoking weed, in public, I realized how rank people who smoke weed smell. And this isn't a diss or anything. I think it smells good, to be honest. I like the smell of weed. However, I was like, oh my God, here I am thinking no one could tell I was high. And I'm just probably just reeking bud and just spreading it throughout the whole restaurant or wherever I was picking up food from. And so, yeah, it's you can't hide it. With weed anyway. Now, I know there are a lot of ways to get by now. They have those cartridges. So I worked at a shoe store and a guy would smoke cartridges, and obviously he would be high as fuck and you couldn't tell because it was this tiny little thing. So that's more of a thing now. Again though, it's if I was in that situation, I'd be okay, am I dependent on this? Can I not get through a shift without it? And that would be kind of a good sign that, okay, this maybe isn't a healthy habit anymore. And that's really what I found out, is that I became more and more dependent on it. So I was driving around, I had to have weed on me. I couldn't go without smoking every 20 minutes or so. That was really when I was in the heat of the addiction. So guys, a bit of a short one today. Comment down below what your experience with smoking at work is, or doing drugs or drinking or whatever. 33 Degrees, thanks again for the topic. We got some other cool ones coming up very soon. Comment, subscribe, and talk to you soon. Peace.